Hi, you're back on the Fall River Show with me, your sometimes genial host, Marc Dion. I nattered on about city politics this afternoon, and what I haven't gotten to, hey, save the best for last, no? What I haven't gotten to is that this is my last show. This is the last Fall River Show, the last time I will be podcasting for Fall River Reporter. The choice was not mine, is what I will say, and that's fine. That's fine. I've had a pretty good time. I'm retired, and I never want to work 40 hours a week again, and at 66 I don't have to. And so I try to pick things. I tried to pick things that I thought would be a little bit of an adventure. I did 3 years on WSAR. I've done 2 years and change here because I'd spent a lot of my working life from 26 to now, really, because I'm still writing a syndicated newspaper column. Have spent, now it's 40 years of my life as a writer. And I thought, and it's funny because I've never gone chasing any of these jobs either. WSAR got in touch with me and offered me the job. They canned me in person too. Said they wanted to go in a different direction. And Fall River Reporter came to me asking me if I'd do this. I haven't been seeking this stuff out, but I wasn't forced into it either. And when SAR and then Fall River Reporter sought me out and asked me, if I wanted to get a paycheck and work somewhere between 2 and 3 hours a day, I said, sure. Because I was finally free from having to do something. You know how it is when you're in your 40s, your 50s, younger than that. You don't have a job, you lose a job, you quit a job. You got to get a job now, because you don't know how you're paying the rent this month. I was always okay with that. It's how a majority of the population lives. But I had reached a stage in my life that you get the pension checks and the Social Security checks, and you start taking investment income, and I knew I could turn things down. I think that was it. For the first time in my life, the online newspaper in New Bedford, the New Bedford Light, wanted to pick me up as a reporter, and I remember I shocked myself when I said no. And I told the guy, I said, I've gotten to the point in my life when I don't have to take just any work that's offered to me. I can say no now. Boy, did that feel good. Not that it was a lousy job they offered me. I just didn't want to be a reporter anymore. I'd been a reporter long enough. And that moment, my wife wasn't home, and I called the guy because he got in touch with me on Facebook, and we had arranged a time to talk, and I called the guy, and when I said to him, thanks for the offer, but I don't want to be a reporter anymore, and I've gotten to that stage in my life where I can say no. Boy, that was the best feeling I ever had. I said yes to bosses and to jobs and to overtime shifts and to weekends so many, many, many times in my life. All the time. And to finally say to someone who had a job to offer me, to finally be able to say to them, no. That was just amazing to me. And I think that a lot of people younger than me now, I think that they've lost the habit of just slavishly taking any job they're offered, of just doing anything the boss asks you to do, and people tell them that it's because they're spoiled, and I don't think that's true at all. I wish I'd had the guts to do that back when it counted. But this is my last show for Fall River Raw. The adventure was pleasant. What am I going to do now? Who cares, right? I'm just another old guy with, one artificial tooth in the front, a little arthritis in one hip, and plenty of time on his hands. I've still got a syndicated column to write. Who knows? Maybe I'll write a novel. I always said that I might someday, and my wife tells me I should, and usually I do whatever she tells me in preparation for having even less to do than I do now. I started going to a gym 3 times a week in February, which is unlike me, but I've managed to go 3 times a week since February, and it feels good. As for my time here, I really enjoyed working with the camera guy, Justin. I thank Mike Sylvia for paying me. Joshua, who also did some camera work for us. And I especially thank the people who came on. Carol Fiola, the mayor, the chief of police, various candidates, Sean Connell, the people from Bay Coast Bank, Jeff Leary. I especially thank the people who came on the show, because I would reach out to these people. Hey, you want to do my podcast Tuesday? And they would do it. So I especially want to thank them. And, of course, the people who watch this, who listen to this. I'm not going to say, oh, we're a family, because that's a stupid thing to say. And people who do podcasts or radio broadcasts say that, and they don't mean it, and you don't buy it. But I'm happy to have tried this. I'm happy to have spent 2.5 years on this adventure, just like I was happy to spend 3 years and change with WSAR, and I was happy to spend 37 years as a newspaper reporter and columnist. I'm not even close to dead, at least not as far as I know. So if you see me doing something strange, if you look up and say, hey, that guy in that loading dock look like Marc Dion? I just went on another adventure.